What's going on, football fans? We're back with more NFL draft coverage. Today we'll be discussing the top 5 Combine Standouts. And no, we won't be discussing Saquon Barkley because, well, that just seems too obvious. Instead, we'll be talking about his teammate, Penn State tight end Micah Sickie. Not only did he run the fastest 40-yard dash among tight ends at 4.54 seconds, but he had the highest vertical, the longest broad jump, and the second most reps on the bench press. He was already considered a top 4 tight end in the draft class, but this performance at the Combine puts him squarely in the conversation to be the first tight end off the board in April. With the offense at Penn State so focused on that one guy, Saquon Barkley, Micah Sickie had just one game where he totaled more than 62 yards in 2017. He did, however, have 4 games with multiple touchdowns. It's clear at this point that Micah Sickie will be drafted in the top 2 rounds. Up next, we have Maryland wide receiver DJ Moore. DJ Moore showed up at the Combine and not only measured in at 6 feet tall, which was higher than his listed 5'11" height, but he also ran a 4.42 40-yard dash. His vertical jump of 39 inches was second among wide receivers, and his 11-foot broad jump was the best among wide receivers. Moore is the type of wide receiver that a team can have some fun with because he can play all over the field, whether it be on the perimeter or out of the slot. He's not afraid to go over the middle of the field, which is why we love to see him in the slot role in the NFL. He caught at least 7 passes in 8 of 12 games in 2017, with his biggest performance of the year coming against Northwestern, where he totaled 12 catches for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Some have mentioned Moore's name as high as late first round, though we're not expecting that. We're expecting Moore to be a day 2 pick. Another wide receiver who impressed at the NFL Combine, both on the field and off the field, was Texas A&M's Christian Kirk. After running a 4.47 in the 40 and hitting 20 reps on the bench press, Kirk was a standout on the field, going through the gauntlet seemingly effortless, tracking the ball with ease, and then running crisp routes during the quarterback drills. Kirk's speed and strength combo at the Combine was drawing comparisons to the Lions' Golden Tate, as they're both possession slot receivers. Kirk totaled more than 78 yards just 3 times in 2017, but he did heat up over the final 4 games of the season, totaling 29 receptions for 464 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kirk is likely limited to the slot, making him a fit for only certain teams, so expecting him to make the jump into the first round is unlikely, though his Combine performance likely got a few teams thinking about taking him in the late first. Heading back over to the running back position, another player that really surprised at the Combine was Georgia's Nick Chubb. He was a player who was once considered to be a lock to be drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft, but he suffered a gruesome knee injury in 2015. It was a knee dislocation with 3 torn ligaments. So to see him come back and run a 4.52 40-yard dash at 5'11 and 227 pounds is amazing, as it was the 6th fastest time among the 25 running backs to take part in the drill. Not just that though, as Chubb's impressive day continued, his 20-yard shuttle was the same time as Saquon Barkley, as was his 29 reps on the bench press. He also posted the 4th highest vertical jump among running backs. If Chubb is completely over that injury that he suffered a couple years ago, some team might be getting a steal on day 2. And lastly, we have LSU wide receiver DJ Chark, who turned some heads with his low 4.3 40-yard dash. They didn't show a lot of the vertical jumps live on TV, but Chark did jump 40 inches in the vertical, which was the highest among all wide receivers. The issue with Chark becoming a legitimate fantasy producer, though, is that he's not a natural hands catcher of the football. It may have to do with his hands that measured in at 9.25 inches, some of the smaller hands among wideouts. So when you know that he's not a natural with his hands, how much will his vertical help him in the NFL if he isn't high pointing a ball? Don't get me wrong, Chark's speed is something to be aware of, but there's also something to be aware of in fantasy circles. Chark most definitely improved his stock at the NFL Combine, but we're not convinced that this moves him into the top 8 wide receivers in the draft. And that'll wrap up our top 5 Combine standouts. If there's someone that wasn't on this list that you feel should be on there, feel free to let us know in the comment section below. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get notified when we post new videos throughout the off-season.